Welcome to today's Change Call. This is Milo Acosta with you. We have a great call lined up for you guys. We have Tom Jr. with us today. He's going to be talking a little about what the plans are, his experience in network marketing, how it started, how it's going, and what the future is bringing. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this call this evening. I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple of announcements for you guys. We have, first of all, the promotions. The promotions, since we have a lot of success on last month's promo, we're going to be extending this promotion for the month of February. So anytime that you bring up or sign up a brand new distributor that purchases one of the packs, our starter pack, our starter pack plus, and our wealth builder pack, we will waive the $24.95 initial fee. So please make sure that you pass this on to your teams. This promotion was very successful last month. Right now, you'll hear about some testimonies on the SiselTHIN and SiselSPORT. Great products that are bringing a lot of new people to the company. People are losing weight like crazy. Literally, hundreds, if not thousands of pounds have been lost since we launched this product. So we're super happy, for the lives that everybody has changed using this product. So, and for you guys to be sharing the testimonies and the stories with us. So that's the promotion that we have for February, guys. We have a couple of challenges for you guys. The first challenge that we have is the recruiting, the recruiting challenge. So this challenge is based on recruiting. So you earn points every time you bring somebody to the business as a distributor. If you need to purchase a SiselTHIN and a SiselSPORT every single month to become qualified. So please make sure that you know that in order for you to win, and bring in people that purchase one of these packs or the products. You get points by signing people up with a pack. You'll get points by having those same people buy the following month for 3 months. So this specific challenge started January 1st and goes until March 31st. So it's for a 3-month period. You can win up to $5,000. The North America and Australia, New Zealand are both markets are participating on this particular recruiting contest. So please make sure that you call us if you have any questions. The information's in your back office. It'll give you the breakdown on what to do exactly, or what you need to do to earn the points. We're running those reports here internally, but make sure that you guys are aware of this challenge. The second challenge that we have is the actual weight loss challenge. This one is considered 4 different prizes per region. So Europe gets their 3 prizes. Japan, Australia, and North America will get 3 prizes. The top prize is $1,000. U.S. for the second place, you get $500, and for the third place, you get $250. To participate in this challenge, you need to help us promote the product. Basically, if you can go to Sisel International to our social media sites and be active promoting it. Taking your before picture and your after when you're done. Sharing with people your different things that you're doing, exercise, sharing what you're eating, recipes on the keto diet. As active as you are, the panel of judges that we have here internally will determine who the winners are. So, like I say, there's 4 different prizes for all 4 different regions. So, if you don't have a computer, or you're not on social media, you can call the 801-704-6700 number. Press the option 1, and then press option number 4, and you can leave a recording with your name and ID if you have it, and share your story with us. We'll transcribe that message and send it to marketing, that they're keeping track of that and participate that way. We'll post those stories on social media and emails and in our newsletter. So that's the way that you also can participate, not just in social media. Obviously, if you guys are on social media, then share pictures, the befores, if you want to, and let's make a big deal out of this, because a lot of people are changing their lives, trying these products and seeing the results. Personally, I've lost 20 pounds, and it's great. It's satisfying to feel better myself and to go to the gym and put on muscle. And I stopped losing weight, but I'm seeing the difference, and it feels good to just have a lifestyle change. And so, like I say, make sure that everybody knows about this. And like, if you have any questions, call us or call customer service and let them know about. Ask them how to participate on one of these two contests. For that, we're trying to help out as much as possible, guys. We have two different calls that we do weekly. The first call that we do on Mondays, we actually just finished our call at 6 o'clock. It's the Wealth Builder coded bonus presentation that I do every Monday night at 6 o'clock. From 6 to 6:30, I usually talk a little about how to build your business using the Wealth Builder system. Today, we didn't go into details a lot. We just talked about the first 6. We talked a little about some facts on weight loss and the interest that everybody has right now on losing weight, and how to use that pack and be successful in your business, starting using the coded bonus. So every single Monday night at 6, we post a link on our Facebook pages. We send an email and a text with it, and we send a phone number as well. So we have those. And then on Tuesday nights, so tomorrow night at 7 o'clock p.m., using the same number, 605-313-5169 with access code 787070 pound, we have our weight loss recruiting call. This call is done by our VP of Global Sales, Aaron. He usually has guests there. Sometimes he has even corporate, Tom or myself or Jason or somebody, to talk about the keto but mostly the guests that he has on those calls to that share with everybody what they're doing to lose weight, and what they're eating, and how they're sharing this product with new people. So those calls are very helpful. I get a lot of people saying how happy they are by having those calls. So every single Tuesday, we're actually having everything recorded. We do our WhatsApp calls every week. We have that recording. You dial in 801-704-6800. Now you're going to have 3 options. When the option number 1 is to listen to the WhatsApp call, where we go through all the updates for the week, the back order list, if we have any products that comes back, promotions, etc. for US and Australia. And then option number 2 is the weekly weight loss recruiting call that we do all Tuesday nights. We record that, so in case you want to listen to that call, it's a free recording 24/7. And the option 3 are these calls, the monthly calls that you can listen to on that option number 3 on the 6800 number. So, guys, we have great things going on. We just pulled a report this morning before our sales meeting, and I was looking that we actually had our biggest month. I want to say in history. I've been here almost 4 years, and this has been the biggest month for sure. And for 4 years, I was talking to Aaron, and Aaron's like, "Yeah, I think it's the biggest month that we have so far." So it's super exciting, guys, just to see the growth that we're having. The energy, I keep saying the same thing. The energy that we see outside in the field and here at corporate is unbelievable. I've never seen that energy since I've been here, and it's just because of how passionate you guys are in sharing the Mower mission with people, how passionate you are on just keeping Tom's legacy alive, and for that we have Aaron Rennert, our VP of Global Sales and Marketing, which supports us 100% on what we're doing and listens to the field and works together with everybody, in North America and Europe. I see him talking to people in Europe when we walk in the morning and talks to people in Japan after I leave. So, it's awesome to just work for someone that has this passion to help everybody around the world. So I'm not going to take any more time away from them. So Aaron, if you're there, take it away.
Hey, Milo, I am here, and I am telling you guys right now that Milo's got a reason. He is absolutely looking better and better every day, and I don't want to say that in a weird way, but I'll tell you what, as Milo talked about, when people are feeling good, when they're looking good, when they're starting to lose some weight, they're starting to pack on a little bit of muscle, people notice, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, the interesting thing that I like to see, and I love to talk about it as well, is that in this business, you kind of have to be a product of the product, and you have to be able to walk the walk, talk the talk, and do those things that are necessary for us to actually see those things happen and transpire in front of our eyes. And the first thing that people say is, "What are you doing? What's going on? How are you doing it? Why do you think that's working for you? And tell me what your secret is, or tell me what the secret sauce is." And ultimately, you have that opportunity to spell it out for people and to have that conversation. Well, today in the office, I heard no less than at least 5 people in our office that see Milo every day. But of course, we just had a weekend, and he walks in and everybody's saying, "Milo, what's going on? You look like you're skinnier. You look like you're losing more weight." And Milo said, "Well, no, I shaved today or over the weekend or, this, that, or the other." But folks, you've got to realize that it happens. And as it starts to happen, I had told Milo a little while ago that the bottom line is never worry about your weight per se. Worry about how your clothes fit. Worry about your measurements. Worry about all of those things before you worry about when you step on the scale and you see that you haven't changed much, because the bottom line is, muscle weighs far more than fat. And so you're going to notice that as you put on a little bit of muscle, you're going to see that scale maybe not change much. But the bottom line is you're going to see it in the way your pants fit, your dresses fit, your blouses fit, your shirts fit, whatever it is. And I guarantee that you're going to start to see that. So I'm super excited for Milo, and I'm absolutely ecstatic for the fact that we're having some record-breaking months, month over month over month. And I was kind of joking around with Tom Jr. earlier. I said, it's always funny to me that we have, people that are getting so passionate. And of course, they get a little crazy when we have a product out of stock or we have an issue with getting the raws in or whatever the case may be. So there's a delay on getting it back in inventory or in catalog. And the bottom line is that we're still having the greatest sales month that we've ever had. And that's a testament to each of you on this call, each of you listening to the call later. Each of you have done a phenomenal job at promoting this company, at promoting our mission, our values, the type of company we are and what we stand for. And as a result, you have people that are like, "Okay, well, I haven't tried this other product over here. I think I'll try that until this other one comes back in." Now, the reason that I bring this up is that tonight we have our special guest on the call. It's Tom Mower Jr. He is the founder of Sisel. He's our CEO. He is literally our chief scientist. He's the guy that has developed I'd say probably 80+% of our products in catalog. But you don't hear about it that much. When Tom Sr. was alive, he was bigger than life. Everybody knows that he loved to travel. He loved to get out on the stage. He loved all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, Tom Jr. was always the guy in the back, literally doing everything from manufacturing, operations, finance, legal, all that good stuff that makes this company run. And so you didn't hear about much of this before, but I'll tell you what, we're seeing it now, and we're seeing it in spades, because where companies are going out of business, we've got companies that are struggling to find raw ingredients. We've got companies that are struggling to find plastics or labels or caps or seals or whatever it may be, because there's a shortage worldwide. As a matter of fact, I heard the other day that Coca-Cola gobbled up as much of the aluminum as they possibly could. Now, that doesn't necessarily affect us in ways, but it does give you an idea that when companies like that are doing everything they can to grab as much as they possibly can, it puts shortage for other people. So now you see companies going to plastic bottles or glass bottles again, because they have to get back to that point where they can actually have the products in inventory and catalog. So we're going to talk a little bit about this stuff tonight, and I'm super excited because I'll tell you, Tom Jr. is an amazing person with an intellect, and I've said this before, and I continue to tell you guys this all the time. But it's my opportunity to work with Tom Jr., to learn from him and to listen to his words and his thoughts and his ideas, because he's been in this business, literally in network marketing industry, for 35 plus years now. So you think about that timeline, that's a long time to be involved in this industry. But Tom, as I bring you on as our founder and our CEO, we're looking for an opportunity to talk a little bit about who we are at Sisel and what we stand for and some of those things that are important to us and important to, what we do every day. So literally over the last 46 years, you have been involved in all aspects of manufacturing. And then, of course, 35 years in this industry, in this specific industry, network marketing. Where did you get your start? Give us a little background and history, if you don't mind.
Well, Aaron, it makes me sound old when you say it like that.
Well, you were 12, I think, when you started.
Yeah, I was about 11. Yeah, 11, 12 years old. But, a lot of things happen when we're looking to do the right thing and we're optimistic and we're moving forward and, working side by side with Tom Sr., my father. I've seen a lot happen in the industry, in research and development. I remember when they mapped the human genome in the early 90s. Boy, wasn't that impressive. And I remember in the 80s when MSDS sheets came out, and they call them SDS sheets now. But, when we started to learn that there were real problems with some of the ingredients that were commonplace, and we looked for better ways all the time. Because one of the real fundamental things that I grew up with was a family that we always look to do it better. We always look to do it safer, and we look for a lot of the benefits, not just great foam, great scent, but we look for great results and great health and the safest ways to manufacture. But early on, we started in the industrial chemical business, and we looked to produce the best performing laundry soaps and degreasers. And one thing about it, when you're doing things right, people want to be part of that. And we were making these products literally at our home, in our barn. And because they were highly effective, it didn't take but just a few short years, and we had over 200 nursing homes and thousands of hotel and motel and hospitals using these formulations. And really, it's really addictive because when you start looking at what is common in the market and what they use, and you find other ways to do it, and you can remove a stain faster, you can make things whiter, you can do it better. Well, people want to be part of that. And as we told people about this and they saw that the results were there, we moved on to it. But one thing about it, research and development continues. And when you have academia out there and they're looking for projects and they're finding new discoveries and it's coming out there, well, back then, we had to send letters and do phone calls and meet with people, and it took weeks and months to get feedback. Well, when we started realizing in the early 80s that many of these commonplace things had long-term effects on our health, well, we started to look to do things better for our family, for our friends. And we made lots of products that people would utilize, and we were just giving them away and to truck drivers and employees and our family. And, hey, here's a shampoo that doesn't have any secondary amines, and which is a big deal with nitrosamine formations and cancer causing. And there were studies with certain surfactants that they're damaging to our eyes, and formaldehyde donors. Well, all these were very common, and they had been used for many, many decades. And because people weren't shampooing their hair and falling over dead, nobody really noticed. But the trending was there, and the science was there as new methods came out to show that it did have detrimental effects on our health. And with that, as we were giving these things away and talking to people about them and talking to surfactant manufacturers and preservative manufacturers and investigating the dozens of different ingredients used to make a fragrance, that smelled like a fruit or a vegetable, and realizing that there were benzene and different things in there that could be cancer causing. Well, people came to us and said, you need to go to direct sales, because direct sales, people can tell about their results. Don't give 90 cents of every dollar to advertising and television, radio. Put it in the products, because these products are more expensive than what you see on the shelf, because you might have 6 or 8 ingredients to get the result you're looking for, where in the industry they're using something with a pretty color and a great taste and putting the money in advertising. So that's really how we got into direct sales. We needed the exposure and let people be a testimony of the product, just like with the weight loss products that we've launched now. And there have been quite a few years there were no major advancements in weight loss until recently. And, like you said, Aaron, I like to research and I like to develop, and I put pieces of puzzles together, and sometimes it takes years. I've really been fascinated for 15 years on what fucoxanthin did. It definitely helps fat become more available to being converted back into energy. And then with the advent of BHBs and what butyrate does, and right now I'm investigating a lot of what it takes to get butyrate into our lower digestive system and what those results are. And we'll talk about that in the coming months. But I pick up these puzzle pieces as I go. And, it's hard to think of 46 years doing that, but I have a lot of puzzle pieces that deal with hair growth and wrinkles and anti-aging and all of these things. And when you get enough of the pieces together, you can assemble the puzzle. And we have a wonderful organization. It was fun to listen to Milo talk about. This last month is probably the greatest month we've had to date. And I know what that means for better health and people living their dreams. Their checks are going up and the word's getting out there. So that's kind of a brief history of where I started and what got us into this dynamic industry and why we're selling the products we have. But unlike many others, like 99% of others, we came from a research and development. That's why we manufacture the products we do, and that's why we have millions of dollars tied up in processing and laboratory equipment, because we come from a different side of this. We're not a company looking for a product. We have dynamic research and products that are developed, and we need this industry to promote the results that they provide and the benefits.
Well, and Tom, it's interesting. You mentioned something earlier, but back in the day, and I hate to age you again, but back in the day, there were MSDS sheets. There were these, for everybody's knowledge, they were material safety data sheets, and they were basically put out in order for you to tell people or to tell the manufacturers, okay, so these are the things that you must be aware of in terms of, or beware of, in terms of harmful ingredients, in terms of things that you needed to have hazmat suits to handle them, or a pull cord for a shower to rinse off something, that chemical that gets on a skin, or even on a hazmat suit before you take it off and continue on with your day. But those MSDS sheets were really your only way of actually doing the research and the science, or generating publications, stacks and stacks of magazines and white papers, etc. Obviously different than today's Google search, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's really what propelled me to go into my education, to go to the University of Utah. And early on, I remember Dad and I would talk about some of these things. And I remember sodium lauryl sulfate as one example. And I would spend literally hours in the library. We were back on the old Dewey Decimal System, and there wasn't a computer to look it up. And so you would go. But reality is there were decades of science and research that showed how it denatured proteins and how it affected our skin, and how it helped harmful ingredients penetrate. And all of this is out there because academia has been studying this for a very long time. But I would and then go over and print out volumes of studies and papers, because when you go to the grocery store, you'd flip around a bottle of shampoo, look on a tube of toothpaste, and there it was, number one ingredient. And so it was very perplexing to say, okay, here's the scientific data that goes back years, and here's new research that's in the library, but yet it's common because things had been approved decades earlier as GRAS approved, generally regarded as safe to be used in cosmetics and personal care products. And so that's why we started to produce products that did not contain these, because once manufacturers were forced to provide a sheet on ingredients and it said, be careful, don't get it on your skin. Well, it was kind of the irony of it was, you go to the grocery store and you see they're putting in products to put on your skin. And that didn't quite sit right with my father. And he said, well, we've got to figure a better way to do this for our family. And that really gave the start to why we entered this industry, because people wanted to be part of what we had started. We were the original people who started about harmful ingredients and how to avoid those. And of course, you get on the internet now and there's thousands of companies touting all the good, none of the bad, but they really don't have a background in where that started and how that started. And we had major companies who were very upset with us. We had a lot of lawsuits. Quit talking bad about these ingredients. We would not name their products and what they were doing, but we would say, we have a safer and a better way, and it's proven by science. If you want better skin, you want better health, then avoid these certain ingredients. And here are the very manufacturers of these ingredients and what they say about those. And it was very transparent. And that's really what gave birth to the Mower mission and why we entered into this market and how we market our products.
Well, and there's no question. I've told the story for years, but I absolutely love the story about, you with your father, and when he came home after somebody asked him to look at a shampoo label, and he, said, yeah, I can figure out how to make one. And he came home and literally went through your entire house once he realized what was in the shampoo and cleaned you guys out, threw everything away. And I remember the story about you saying to your dad, what are we gonna bathe with tomorrow? You just threw away literally all of our personal care products. That is a classic story, but one that absolutely reflects on your dad's personality.
Oh, it does. And he was passionate about everything, anything he got involved with. And so it was better not to shampoo your hair with that until we could figure it out. And, necessity is the mother of invention. And when you don't have shampoo and toothpaste in the house, you really crack the whip and get after it. And so that really started this down the road. Then, evolved into bubble baths and lotions and, what advantages are into using propylene glycol? Well, there were none. So we had to figure out ways to still get that great smooth feeling on skin with other types of humectants. And now we see things that are common like shea butter. Back then they weren't common. And so we were at that point sending out letters and making phone calls to people all around the sea or all over the sea, overseas. And that's really what took Tom, years ago over into China to discover or rediscover things that they had been using for thousands of years, because they're very old society and they documented things going back thousands of years. And when he had heard about that, he wanted to check that out. And that really got us into the anti-aging. And before people even understood really what that was, that there was really power in good nutrition. And that started a whole nother category in anti-aging products.
Well, and Tom, that's okay. Perfect segue for me. We have a product that literally is a very, very good selling product, but sometimes a little quiet. We have so many other products that we get excited about. We forget sometimes about TSX. But as an example, the ancient Chinese, if you will. I hate to just use that, but I go back in the ancient times. They had documented a lot of information on different ingredients, different plants, different extracts, etc. They didn't really understand the whole method behind them, but they were testing in different ways. But then evolves this science and research and the development of understanding how plant-based materials can actually help with different extract base. Maybe hit on astragalus, just astragalus as an example.
Okay. Yeah, you get my mind racing when you pose a question like that on a lot of different things. And so going back to actually 1978, when they had uncovered the terracotta soldiers in China, while they were hand digging a well, and they found the pharmaceutical wagon there. Well, that was in the National Geographic, and my father was very amazed at what they had and the studies that they had. And so we contacted people who had links into that. And back then, you think the late 70s, early 80s, there weren't a lot of people going over to China. But he had to get over there and actually go to that and go to the university that was doing the studies. And so he went over there. And at that time, we were able to actually bring 2 formulations over for anti-aging. And at that point, it wasn't advanced enough in science to really understand why these old ancient recipes and formulations work. But one thing about the Chinese, they were meticulous in a couple of areas. They were meticulous in doing different types of studies. Even though they were anecdotal, they did record really good data, and they would try these formulations on rats and mice and actually people. And what they found, that different concoctions would definitely prove different results. And the formulations that were very interesting on aging showed a 30%, 20 to 30%, depending on the animal, increase in longevity and also in production. And we see this all the time now. And at that time, astragalus was one of these major ingredients. And so people would just take astragalus, and you could buy astragalus, but it wasn't really designated. Was it the leaf? Was it the stalk? Was it the root? But as science moved forward, it was found that the anti-aging that basically protected our telomeres, the very ends of strands of DNA and the trillions of cells that make up your body and make you who you are, were disintegrating over time with multiple duplication throughout your life. And as they got shorter, you had more mutations, more disease, and eventually you ran out of proper processes in mitosis to replicate. Well, they found that astragalus could protect that and could actually rebuild that. And as science progressed, they found that it wasn't the leaf, it wasn't the stalk, it wasn't the whole root, it was actually the tip of the root from a plant that was 3 or 4 years old that would contain high levels of cycloastragenol and astragaloside spore. And that was the active component that would trigger your body to produce telomerase, the enzyme that repaired those ends. And so you go back thousands of years ago, the ancients did not know what that would be, but they knew that there was something in astragalus as a whole that worked. So that really, piqued our curiosity, and that's why we have a great product in TSX. And we don't talk a lot about that now, but that is extremely powerful. And those who want to go out and have their blood work taken before, and then a year later have it tested again, can actually see that their biological age is actually going down. And so those are the types of science that we look for. Another fascinating point, maybe if I take one more moment, I remember Dad was very perplexed with angel hair because they would talk about what that was. And that really was the advent of fucoid, because going through the research and looking at what that was, and it didn't really describe what this was. Well, we found out that it was seaweed. And if you ever watched a documentary on the ocean and you see that flowing, those big, 40, 60 foot long strands of seaweed, that's what they're referring to as angel hair that increase longevity. Well, we fast forward, and what do they find out? That people in Japan and other areas who consume brown seaweed, they have more centurions, people living to be over 100 years old, who consume that. And then once again, was it seaweed as a whole? No, it was the fucoidan that was found in that had a wide variety of different biologically beneficial ingredients. And that's why now, if you get on PubMed, you look, and if you want to compare it to the acai's and the wolfberries and the mangosteens and the nonis, science has left them behind and does not pursue new research on those, even though they were the flavor of the month for, over 15 years with other companies. But what's happened with fucoidan, we were in the few hundred when we started, and now it's into the thousands of studies because the results are dynamic.
Well, it's interesting. I think the last time I looked, it was over 2,000 studies. I think it might be even 2,100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about. We did a video not too long ago and tried to educate a little bit on fucoidan and where it kind of came from in terms of the Mower side of it. But you're right. There are so many people that are starting to learn. And one of the things that I love about Sisel is we love educating. It's kind of part of our genetic makeup, if you will, the DNA of the company. We love to educate people on these incredible products because we're not just that flash in the pan. We're not just that hype company. We actually are a company that says, look, if we're going to be on the product and we're going to show you the product and we want you to be on the product, and we're going to use the product and we're going to develop the product and we're going to continue to research the products and make advancements and all that good stuff. But I'm going to go back a year ago or even more when you really started talking about weight loss and fitness. And it was one thing that you absolutely were passionate about for a bunch of reasons. But one of them was obviously, weight, as Milo touched on earlier. I mean, we've got a lot of problems with obesity and overweight people in America. Myself, I could easily lose 15 pounds and be super happy about that. Others that are on the call probably know 2 out of the 3 people that they associate with are probably overweight or obese. It's just part of the process and understanding that over 70% of our population is in that unfortunate number. So when we think about it, you talked about, look, I'm going to come out with these products. I've been developing, I've been formulating, I've been working with my R&D group. And one of the things that I love is that it's not just about, oh, this is kind of a hot product like you talked about, or, oh, this kind of, exciting or flavor of the month. These are products that have literal long-term standing benefits that continue to evolve, and we're never slowing down. But you already talked about SiselThin. It's been probably one of the hottest products we've come out with in years and years and years. So SiselThin is super hot. But then you develop SiselSPORT, which is a pro-grade pre-workout, which we all know we absolutely love. But you don't have to be a person going to the gym to really absolutely embrace this product. I mean, this is for everybody living life. What did you put in the pre-workout? Because, Tom, I'm going to say this, and I hate to take up your time, but this morning I jumped on my Peloton bike after I did a scoop with my SiselSPORT. It was yesterday morning. It was early morning, and it was a Sunday, and I thought, you know what, I've got time. Nobody's up yet. I'm going to just do a good long ride. And so I did it. And I'm telling you, my power output was unbelievable. My time on the bike, it never faltered. I never slowed down. I continued to keep up with all of the changes because they do different types of classes. So you've got climbs, you've got sprints, you've got flats that you ride. And I felt phenomenal the entire time. But guess what? Today at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I took about a quarter scoop, threw it in my water bottle, drank it down, felt great. Now you can hear me right now at the end of the day. I still feel great. What did you put in that product, and why are people absolutely gobbling it up?
Well, and you hit on one thing, a pre-workout, but you're exactly right. It is not just a pre-workout. This is not a, one purposed product. And this is a product that's built for people who are looking to lose weight, people who want more focus in their life, people who want better energy. And then like you, if you're working out, you need to build muscle, but you do not want to have muscle fatigue. For me, I mean, what time is it? It's 7:45 here, and I'm down here riding my desk. Well, I'm really excited about the B6. I'm really excited about the B12. I'm really excited about the nitric oxide because I really want to stay focused, and the niacin, but I like the immune system building of this with vitamin C. But to address your first comment, when you talk about you exercise and you're doing so many things, well, number one, you're getting all kinds of nitric oxide with this, and we know what that means for immune system. We know how it relaxes our arteries. We know how it helps with blood flow, how it helps with our heart. But the beta-alanine that's in this formulation, wow, and the L-citrulline, you want to talk about cutting muscle fatigue. If you want to exercise longer, it's kind of like when a lot of times when people start exercising, they'll say, I did 5 laps. And then all of a sudden you talk to them a couple weeks later and they're doing 10 laps in the same amount of time of what their normal routine is. Well, one thing we have to do is we develop muscles. We have to increase the response of the muscle, but we have to increase the longevity before we have lactic acid build up and our muscles are fatigued and can't exercise. Well, with this formulation, not only can you with the creatine monohydrate help with muscle building, but we can with the beta-alanine, we can actually endure longer muscle expensive energy, and we don't tire as fast. So if you're a competitive athlete, this is the ideal formulation for you. If you're like me down here late nights at work and mental focus is really what you're looking for also, it's incredible because it has the stress vitamins and it helps with a better focus. And the citrulline, what we find with that, we have L-arginine in this also, but with L-citrulline, it increases the amount of blood arginine. That is what we need to have increases of nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, as we've found over the last 10 or 15 years, the scientific community has found the benefits for heart and anti-inflammation and increased blood flow, which helps in so many different ways. And so this formulation is much more than just a pre-workout. And the fact is, when we're going through a diet or we're trying to restrict our calories, we don't want to have a lot of calories. This only has about, I think it's about 30 calories to a serving of this product, which is big. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't think about is what do you use to sweeten this? Well, we use stevia is our main sweetener that we have in this. We have some other natural flavors, but we use stevia. One thing that you'll find in a lot of these different formulations out there, sucralose is really the main thing they utilize with that. For a lot of these pre-workout formulations. The problem you have with sucralose, one packet of Splenda, which is sucralose, will destroy about half of the microflora in your digestive system. So if you're drinking a diet drink that has sucralose in that, saying it's no calories, well, when we kill off the microflora in our digestive system, well, guess what? We actually have weight gain that can come through inflammation and minute amount of leaky gut syndrome. We get joint pain. And so something as simple as what do you sweeten it with has a big effect. So with our weight loss system that we have now with SiselThin, we want to make sure we have the right sweeteners in here. This is stevia based, so we don't have to worry about too many calories in this, but it gives us the energy we need. It gives us the focus we need, just like with the SiselThin, which helps us with our weight loss.
Well, and I think I don't think, I know, as we've been continuing to research, one of the things that we obviously have worked on over the last, year and a half, 2 years, is really understanding mental health and other stressors that obviously, make or ensure that you're going to continue to retain your weight. And like you said, some of these incredible ingredients that you've added are stress reducers, which is phenomenal for the body, which is phenomenal for people, especially women who tend to carry a lot of that cortisol and that stress ends up inhibiting their ability to actually lose weight. Are you hearing that as well in terms of the feedback that you're getting, Tom?
Absolutely. And if you look through weight loss studies, when you have that hormone, that cortisol in your system, it helps. It doesn't help, it impedes fat from being converted back to energy. And some of the best studies out there that I've seen are actually with ashwagandha, and this is why you see this in our proprietary blend in the SiselTHIN formulation. So we address that. We want to keep that cortisol down, but also with the SiselSPORT, we're doing that because as we have this nitric oxide and our arteries are relaxed, we have better blood flow, and that helps to take down that stress also. And then with the Lima Mui that we have in there too, where we have good iodine production and the benefits with fucoidan. I mean, let's not forget that those who consume fucoidan definitely are some of the best health we have out there in weight loss also. But we're really under siege in America and throughout the world because of the fast food industry, and we can, drive up and pick up 4,000 calories in one meal, and it smells and looks and tastes great, but it's really to our detriment. And people don't have time to go home and spend 2 hours preparing a meal, and so we consume a lot of these foods, and so it's really hard to stay in shape. And with the SiselTHIN, we can have our minds invigorated with ketones. Well, that right there flips our switch, and we go into ketosis, or telling our body we're in ketosis, so we go into fat burning mode. And the nice thing about that, and this is where you really have to make a mental note and say, am I satisfied as you're consuming your food intake for the day? And what you will do if you really have that in your mind, what you'll realize is you're right. You'll consume about half of the food because the foods that we have are so calorie rich and nutrient deficient that we consume. And that's really why we see that this next generation will not be the healthiest. You would think with modern science it would be the healthiest generation out there. But now we're speculating, and it's showing the fact that they're not the healthiest, and it's really linked to the nutrition and the diet that they have. And because of that, it affects their longevity, and they will not live as long as the generation before them on average.
Well, and Tom, I'll tell you, I mean, we're seeing it across in spades of people that are dealing with different health issues, and it's a direct result. It's a direct impact on society, obviously, with the types of foods that we're taking in and the empty calories. And you and your father obviously go back years and years and years ago. You were one of the formulators on a product that became one of the biggest mainstream products. And we, of course, have SpectraMax. SpectraMax, with all the essential minerals that we're not getting in our diet, all of the extracts of different fruits and vegetables that we're not getting in our diets. And it's just, again, it's an example of one thing that we can continue to take in that's an outside source that allows us the supplementation because, like you said, it's easy to swing through a drive-through, but I guarantee those empty calories are not doing you any favors.
No, they're not. And SpectraMax, one thing to hit on that, you're right, there are vitamins and minerals. But more importantly, with SpectraMax, I go back to, I remember in the late 80s and 90s, they were so amazed at the power of grape skin and what is pycnogenol, and then it was pine bark extract. And at that point, I formulated a product that we did very well with, and people had incredible health with, and it had 7 different antioxidants in that. All that came from natural sources. And then you look at how science has gone, and we've quoted a lot of times Aubrey de Grey, and he talks about that many of the diseases, in fact, 97% is the number that he's come up with of aging, is related to assault by free radicals on our body. Well, there's really only one way to remove those, and that's through proper nutrition. And that comes not just vitamins and minerals. Yes, those can be antioxidants and are antioxidants, but it comes down to a lot of the carotenoids and the proanthocyanidins and the different things that come from a variety of different natural plant-based substances in carrots, in kale, in the onions, in apples and raspberries and blueberries. And so this is why I put SpectraMax together, and now it has over 40 different types of natural extracts from these different plant sources. It amazes me. I'll watch the news at night and they'll talk about, I forget the product that has 15, I think they have two products. One has 15 different plant-based extracts. I think you take 2 or 3 capsules, and the other one has 16. And it just blows me away. And that right now is probably one of the biggest products out there on the retail market. Well, number one, they're probably putting 90% of their dollars into advertising. And so 15 to 16 is a huge stretch for them to put that many in a retail product. Well, this is what I love about this industry. I can put over 40 in a product. I can be almost 2.5 times more variety than what they have. I can sell it at a competitive price like they do, and I can reward the people who are having the dynamic health to go out there and talk about this product. There's nothing out there that competes with SpectraMax.
You know, it's funny. I just literally was thinking about the fact that when you started off the conversation talking a little bit about, you guys getting started and the process and the timeline, and that it was people that were going out and, spending all this money in their advertising and marketing budgets to try to get the name out there, to try to get the word out there. And if you watch any commercial nowadays, everything is about testimonials. And so I always crack up that people want to kind of, and I don't say knock, but people kind of want to say, oh, I just still don't know about this network marketing gig, direct sales, still don't understand it, et cetera. When in reality, every single commercial that we watch has testimonials from everyday people that are out there doing the same thing, taking the same type of product, but they're on a commercial because they're either a paid actor or they happen to be somebody real that had great results, so they want to be on there. Every single one of the people on the call tonight and that will be listening later are all testimonials. They're all people that are listening, that are thinking about, okay, yeah, I've taken that product. I've had that experience. I've had that reaction. I've had that result. And so it's funny to me that we continue to, kind of fight this uphill battle. But the fact is, this is one of the most proven industries to get the word out, to get the information out. And you, again, have been in this space for 35 plus years now. What has changed over the last little while? And then we'll wrap it up, Tom.
Well, a couple things have changed in it. One thing is, the comp plans change, and they can be a binary can be flavor of the month, or a matrix can be flavor of the month, or unilevel, or whatever. But what I have found over 35 years is that the proper way to reward people, number one, is not to limit them. Let them go as wide or as deep as they want, and reward them for the good things that they do. And so that gives you long-term growth. And my commitment to not changing our comp plan, which I've held, we haven't had a comp plan change now for, over 2.5 going on 3 years. And so we're going to continue that course. What's changed also, or has not changed, that 99% of the companies are just looking for what people want to see in a product, not what is in a product. And we'll always stay that course. If we find, like I say, I have many puzzle pieces of many puzzles that I pulled together over the last 35 years or so. And when I get the remaining pieces for those, we might bring out a product for another product in weight loss. And we're definitely looking at more things in skin care and hair care. And when we get those parts together, we're going to bring them out not based on the fact that they're the fad of the month or the year or the flavor, but we're going to bring them out because they have a dynamic benefit, just like SiselSPORT and SiselThin. We knew about all these ingredients, for over a decade in most cases, but it was the synergy with combining these ingredients that gave you the proven result that everybody can experience. And so there's some real fundamental things that are the foundation, but we definitely have a quest and a search for knowledge of beneficial ingredients that give us the results we looked at, because we're a company that's based on results. And this isn't a private equity group that we're going to burn it, churn it, and flip it in 5 years. This is something I'm the steward of the Mower mission for the next 2 to 3 decades, and I'll pass it on to the next generation, and they'll take it to the next level and keep doing what we're doing. Because the exciting part is science is not very limited anymore, and things are coming at us faster and faster all the time, and there's dynamic breakthroughs. You just have to be willing to go out there and look for them and be the trendsetter. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Go out there with your heart in the right place. And I'll tell you what, it's true in everybody's business out there that's on this call today. You want to build a business, you have all the tools that you need right at your disposal. And just because a product might be offline for a couple of weeks does not limit you. Move on to the other 40 or 50 products that are out there, because they're equally as dynamic. So that's really kind of in a nutshell, Aaron, where I see where we're at.
Well, Tom, thank you again so much for taking time out of your night and your busy schedule, most of all, and joining us tonight and giving, again, just imparting some wisdom, some thoughts, some ideas, because I know that everybody on the call, I'm getting text after text. We've got people on from all over the world. And so it's exciting for me as well to hear you talk and then to also have everybody say, wow, what a smart guy, and just can't wait to spend time with you and get to know you better, and on and on and on. So it'll be fun as some of the restrictions lift, that we can get back out on the road and go pop over to some different states and countries and be able to see different people and familiar faces. So Tom, again, thank you so much for being on the call tonight.
Great. Thanks, Aaron. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited to get out there too. I'm clawing the ground right now thinking, when can we leave and get out there? Because that's really what fuels me, seeing this excitement in the field, and, not just seeing everybody's checks go up. And that sounds horrible for a lot of companies, because I see all these companies going out of business. But boy, not here at Sisel, because we have a foundation that's based on the science, based on results. We have a proven compensation engine. And so even through the worst of times, we continue to have the best of growth. So thank you, everybody. And it's been great to be on here with you, Aaron, tonight and kind of reminisce, but talk about the future, because the future has never been brighter.
Well, Tom, I agree. And I'll tell you guys, for all of you that are on different continents right now and that are listening in, it's such a cool thing for me to be able to get the word out. But here's the great thing. So this last weekend, we were able to turn on the PAX down in Australia and New Zealand. So a lot of people are going to be able to see and start actively building off of those packs, as well as the products, SiselTHIN, SiselSPORT. They've been on for about 2 weeks now. And so the cool thing is that not only are Australia and New Zealand kicking off and having a lot of fun, but then you've got Europe. We thought that Europe would have SiselTHIN and SiselSPORT popping up here on Wednesday. We had received our manifest from UPS. They said, oh, yeah, it's going to be there. We'll deliver it by end of day on Wednesday. Well, guess what? Showed up this morning. And so the first thing I got at 6 a.m. was a call from our country manager over there, Amalia, and she said, Aaron, you're never going to believe it. And I knew what she was going to say before she even said it. I said, I jumped out of bed. I'm ready. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear about it. And so we started chatting about some of the ideas and getting it turned on over there, and the packs turned on and all that good stuff. And so it was a reaction on our side because we were expecting Wednesday. But the fact is, folks, you're going to have a lot of success. You're going to see your business grow. You're going to see things happening, because when people have success, when they see results, it's bound to happen. You cannot slow it down. And I was thinking about this, and I'm not going to use any numbers at all, but I can tell you the numbers are sensational. But at the end of every month, I have a couple of individuals that will pop up and give me their goals for the end of the month, as well as an update on where they're going and how they're doing against those goals. I absolutely love it. I eat it up. And there's one person that has never failed month over month to give me that information. It's Laura Bacchini. And she'll always tell me what her goal is. And she'll always tell me where she was the month before. And I can, of course, go back, but we spend some time and go back and forth. So she'll shoot that to me. And she had an unbelievable month. And I can just tell you folks here, hey, guess what? With some of the out of stocks, with some of the issues that we're dealing with, like Tom said, people are moving to the other products in the catalog. They're identifying other sources and trying to identify other ingredients that they may be able to use and satisfy or supplement with it as well. But here Laura Bacchini pops up, and she's got the best month she's ever had in the history of time. And I absolutely love it, because what I see are each of you out there growing your teams and building your business and talking about the things that are important and talking about these incredible products. And we're starting to see, as Milo talked about, people posting up on social media and giving us their results and giving their testimonials. And I know not everybody's on technology, and that's fine, folks. As Milo said, jump on the phone, give us some information over the phone, leave us a message. Let us know what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're doing specifically, because we're excited to see those success stories come through. We're excited to hear about each of you, the results that you're having and the opportunities for success. And as Tom Jr. talked about, the products are there. We have all the products that are at our fingertips. We just need to be able to understand what they are. We need to be a product of the product. We need to use those products so that we can go out and have people look at us and say, what are you doing? What's going on? How did you lose weight? How did you get so fit? And again, just going back to Milo, he walks in today, he looks like $1 million. He literally feels like $1 million, and you can see it in his face. He smiles when people say it. He has that look about him, literally, that people are saying, Milo, what are you doing? And he can't help but tell them, guys, this is what I'm doing, and this is how much time I'm spending at the gym, and this is what I'm trying to create and overcome, and little obstacles here and there, but he's doing it, folks. And so all we've got to do is go out and do it. So I want you to know that right now, as we hang up on this call, get back with the person that invited you to this call. Get back with that person and thank them for inviting you. Thank them for giving you the opportunity to listen in to one of the greatest minds, literally, in this space. And I don't say that lightly. I've worked with a lot of different people over the years in my business and my past experiences in different companies. And I'll tell you, I've been with some of the biggest, and Tom Jr. has a mind unlike any other. And so when you listen to him, and when you kind of feel like you might be a little dumber after you're done listening to him because he's so smart, but then you realize you learned something, so you're actually a little bit smarter. Now that's cool. So get with the person that invited you to the call, have some fun, talk about the opportunity in front of you, find out about these products. Maybe you want to learn how to earn a little bit of extra income, then do it. Let's find out how to do it together, and we can embrace each other. We're all running in the same direction. We're like-minded people. Let's go have some fun with it, folks. So with that being said, I'm going to hang up now, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's call. They're short calls, folks. They're really quick calls. Tonight was our corporate call, but tomorrow is an opportunity to bring other guests on, like Milo said. We'll talk a little bit about the weight loss products. We'll talk a little bit about the opportunity. We'll talk about some of the statistics in the world that we live in. And I invite you to that call. Again, same number, same passcode as tonight. Jump on tomorrow night, 7:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I can't wait to hear from each of you as you continue to post up hashtag SiselThin all over social media, so that we can track your progress. We can give you the kudos and the accolades and all that good stuff, because we love seeing your results. Everybody have a great night. Have a great day. For those of you that are in other parts of the world, we'll look forward to chatting with you, not only tomorrow, but on the first Monday of every month with the Change 2021 call. Thanks, everybody.